Our thoughts and feelings are our own and are not representative of Electronic Arts as a whole or anyone else.
Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show.
That's actually...
You're going to go see The Shack?
I don't know what the hell The Shack is.
Is it just like a movie about Shaq?
No, it's...
Shaq Fu, the movie.
No, don't ever bring that up. that's I hate you, Brandon.
Okay, Kazam 2, The Shack.
Podcast take 2?
Yeah, podcast take 2. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties. We actually, we record 7 minutes of a podcast, and then all of a sudden we realized...
I was noticing it while we were, and I was trying to fix it, because I was trying to adjust his microphone, because I thought maybe you just couldn't hear him very well, so I turned him up. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I was like, okay, there's something wrong here. Let's stop.
Turned out that it was his fault all along. The host...
It's always my fault.
The host sucks.
Dude, let me explain something to you. Like, Brandon is our IT guy and our main person that mixes down our shows. We do everything on a shoestring budget, and we do it damn well.
I can't argue with that, because I have no budget. Yeah. I don't have these microphones and 50 wires coming out. I don't even have a computer.
Yeah, no, I don't either. No, well, I can't count the one I
have
do.
A laptop.
So, everybody's hearing this. So now they do know we have a guest in studio today. We have Mr. Chris Marsh with us. Yes. Marsh, you do your own blog called Marsh Movies.
Yes, Marsh Movies.
All right. Now
you can like that on Facebook. I have a Twitter for it. Or you can follow me on my personal Twitter, which is Cricker with 2 R's.
Cricker?
Cricker. Crickerr. That's my nickname when I was a kid because my cousin couldn't pronounce Christopher, and it stuck. We were at the beach with my family last year, and there were 4 Chris's in the house, so they had to call me something.
Bro.
Like Chris?
You already know that that's on, like, all my handles. I know that,
but I never knew that was the story behind it, that Cricker.
Everybody calls it different things. Everybody thinks it's cricket, but, like, rickety cricket.
Bro,
that makes a lot of sense for you, actually.
You do chirp annoyingly.
No,
we can never figure out where it's
I'm talking the character from It's Always Sunny, the one who fuck his life up.
Yeah, if I think of cricket, I think of you really are that annoying sometimes at night.
There's actually a character in Fallout 4 that's played by Ashley Birch that's
Fallout
named
sucks.
Cricket. What?
You heard me.
What did
We're
you
not
say?
talking video games here.
What?
Yeah, I can't believe
sucks.
he just said Fallout sucks.
I don't like RPGs like that. That's just...
Anyway, there's a character in the game that's named Cricket that's named after Rickety Cricket, and It's Always Sunny, and she's played by Ashley Birch.
Who's Ashley Birch?
Get out.
Which is one of the movies that we were talking about here.
I can't believe he doesn't know. This is one of the things that we fuck with you about. Now, we're going to discuss this on the podcast. One of the things that we always give you a hard time about
everything.
We ask you stuff about movies, and then you'll be like,
okay,
what is that?
You do realize we're from 3 different generations here. Bro. So there's that gap. I got, like, a lot of movies I still need to watch throughout history.
Ashley Birch is from your generation.
Okay, well, who the hell is it? What else has he or she been in? Because nowadays, that's a unisex name.
She's actually the lead character in that game that just came out, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Is she just a voice?
Yeah, she's a voice actress.
Okay.
She also has a web series that she does that's called Hey Ash, What You Playing?
Well, that explains it.
Have you never seen Hey Ash?
She was also Tiny Tina in Borderlands.
Wasn't a fan of Borderlands either. But I will have to check out her channel. What is it called again?
It's Hey Ash, What You Playing?
Okay.
Those were some of the funniest videos back in the day.
Jesus, they're still fucking funny.
I
They just
haven't
actually
watched
put
one
a
in a
couple more out.
Oh, well, I haven't seen any in a while. But
I'll have to check that out,
hilarious.
yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing that gets me. Like, he is so young. How old are you right now?
I'll be 25 in July.
And there are times we start talking about films. Now, you know, I'm a movie junkie, and I'll talk to you about films from, like, you know, the 70s. Sometimes I'll be talking to you about blaxploitation flicks, and then the next thing I'm talking to you about is some French film I watched, you know, and I'm talking about how I loved it. So I'm all over the map when it comes to movies. So I send him stuff about movies, and I get this look, that crazy millennial look where it's just like, what is that? And I'm like, bro, I'm not even talking to you about something that you had to travel back in time far for. Like, I'm talking to you about something from the year 2000 at least. So 17 years ago.
Like Spirited Away?
Yeah, and he will be like lost, and it just sometimes kills me.
I don't do foreign films that much. I can do Spanish movies because I can understand half of what they're saying because I took 6 years of Spanish.
But can you read English?
I can, but I don't like reading movies. I don't like reading subtitles. It's not.
You're gonna be
unless the premise like really grabs me, then I won't watch. I mainly won't watch foreign films.
I could fix that for you with a series of movies from Korea. They're called Korean revenge films.
What, like
They are
Itchy the Killer?
Fucking amazing.
Or Martyrs?
Or Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance,
Old Boy.
Old Boy.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I Saw the Devil.
I've heard of those. So yeah. But
You're not naming anything I haven't watched.
Some of those movies are like really messed up though.
Yeah, and that's
like,
the point.
Like
it's
really
Korean
messed up, like
films.
shit that you
So is
don't
life.
want to see. Yeah, well.
Okay, I mean they're not
I've
different.
experienced a lot in my life already. I don't think I want to experience that kind of shit.
Yeah, no. What you want to do is experience it in a movie and not have it happen in your real life.
That is true.
That's why we watch these movies and then we don't have to deal with crazy.
But then
stuff.
again, in every drama these days, I get to see my life through movies.
You really do. So this is why we brought Chris on. Chris does this blog. He talks Marsh movies, and he made a list, 27 films he wants to see this year. We got to talking about this list, and it just became, hey, let's bring him on the show. Let's pick his brain because he's going to cross over into some geek culture films. One of the films that we're going to start with, I don't know if you watched it. Have you seen Get Out?
I have not seen Get Out, but I've seen the trailer, and I've been informed that that's about as much as the movie is I really need to watch because everything is in the trailer.
Yeah, I'd say so, but it's very...
Yeah,
it's in there conspicuously. You wouldn't have been able to guess.
You would not be able to put it together. I mean, the trailer is great, but I'm telling you right now, this was a movie I enjoyed.
To be honest, I didn't even watch the trailer before I saw it. The only thing I had seen is the little TV spots, and I was like, whatever. I wanted to go to the movies. I hadn't been in a while, so I just said, screw it. The reviews were great. Why not spend a Sunday afternoon in the movies? Turned out to be really awesome.
So you did enjoy it eventually after you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was very unsettling and thrilling, and probably one of the most tense movies I've seen in a long time.
All right.
Plus, it had Bradley Whitford. You don't see him much anymore.
Man, a lot of people are Bradley Whitford fans. And I hate to say this, man, but it's really weird. It's a lot of my white friends that, Bradley Whitford's in this movie.
Because white people like The West Wing. I haven't watched it personally.
Yeah.
And white people
Bradley
like Billy
Whitford.
Madison. And he's Eric and Billy Madison, so.
He has a lot more fans than you would think, man. That guy has
He's just one of those guys that doesn't show up that often, but when he does, he nails it. He
nails it.
I can't even remember the last role he did before this, so.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. So let's go ahead. What we did, you brought your list, right?
I have my list.
Okay, now we're gonna get into this list. So
we
go
one by one or what?
Well, we're gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you with some movies. In fact, let me see your list because I made my list, and I think your list is similar to mine. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to you about this one. This is a movie I know all three of us have seen. I know that this movie has it brought out different things for different people. And I've been talking to a lot of my friends about it. And I don't know how deep we're going to get into this one on this show because Brandon and I are wanting to do a show about it. But I want to talk about it for a little bit. Logan. Opened March 3rd. The newest Wolverine film.
Second rated R superhero movie in the alternate Marvel universe.
The alternate Marvel universe.
Yeah, well,
because this is like, this supposedly doesn't exist in any of the other timelines that the Marvel movies.
So yeah, the timeline,
including Deadpool, just completely different.
So I guess we're doing spoilers.
What?
Do we have a spoiler warning? I mean,
well, we're not going to get deep into
this
one.
Most of these movies that we're talking about haven't come out yet, but
yeah.
But basically, the timeline of Logan is from the alternate timeline created in Days of Future Past, because that movie is just all over the place. It is. I looked it up.
They actually said that it is a spur of that?
Yes.
Or because the last time I remember they said that it wasn't connected to any of the other movies.
I mean, I'm just looking at the IMDb trivia. Technically, you're right. It isn't connected, but that's like it's not connected, but that's what it's from. It's from the alternate timeline that movie supposedly set up. Because, the mutants were gone and all that other stuff. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. But you need to go out and see it now.
Okay, so that's one of the things. So if you were going to judge this film, scale 1 to 10, what would
you say? It is an absolute 10. It is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Easily the best superhero movie I've ever seen. And I probably won't rewatch it until it comes out on Blu-ray just so it can sit with me. But if I love it as much as I did when it comes out, it's going to be in my top 20 of all time. It's that good.
Brandon, how did you feel about it?
I think it's best actor, best supporting actor, and best supporting actress.
Yeah,
the way
if
that
Hugh
it should
Jackman
be.
doesn't get any award show consideration this year, I will never watch an award show again. Not that I really watch them now, but
But we
I
just
will
had the award.
boycott.
So you guys think that this movie was so good that when we come to the Oscars in 2018, we should be talking about Wolverine? I mean, about
We should talk. We
Logan.
should be talking about Hugh Jackman, not necessarily the movie as a whole, but Hugh Jackman. He's played Wolverine for 17 years now. This is his ninth or 10th time playing Wolverine. Obviously, not all of them were good, but this was it. Like, this is his final time playing it. He's said it. It's not going to happen again. He deserves to be recognized for all those years as a whole. And I think that at least a Golden Globe. I mean, if he doesn't get a Golden Globe nomination, like, come on.
I mean, considering that we got a Oscar for a DC superhero movie this year for makeup for
Makeup.
Yeah, I mean it was for
And
makeup.
Killer Croc looked crappy, so I don't
Killer
know
Croc
what
looked like he was.
And the Joker,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hated the Joker.
But considering that Oscar was given out this year, I think that they're finally starting to turn towards giving these types of movies awards, because it's obviously at this point it's not a flash in the pan thing where they're not giving out awards to superhero movies because nobody makes superhero movies and they only get made every once in a while.
Yeah,
this
not
is
anymore.
like a constant barrage of fucking superhero movies for nearly 10
So,
years.
Speaking of that, just in relation to that, so the list of 27 movies I have on here, 4 of them aren't a sequel, a superhero movie, or some kind of reboot. That's it. That's what this year is. That's what
Yeah.
film has become.
It's fuck you, it's January all year long.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's just reboot, building up universes, and
Yeah.
let's have this sequel to a movie that the last installment came out 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago. Why? I don't know. Some of them have been good, but most of them turn out to be pretty crappy. Like Dumb and Dumber 2. Turned 2 lovable characters into 2 giant assholes.
They were giant assholes in the first movie too.
But they didn't know they were
They
assholes.
were
This one,
lovable
in the
assholes.
newer one, they knew exactly what they were doing.
I never watched it.
Don't.
I took one look at it and I was like, this is horrible.
The Dumb and
I'm not gonna bother.
Dumber was better than Dumb and Dumber 2. And that one basically made them... They weren't a special needs class. They created a special needs class. But it also had Shia LaBeouf. So,
Yeah, there's some movies when I see them, I just know that
Yeah.
shit, and I'm not going to go watch it, so I don't even have to bother with it. There was nothing about Dumb and Dumber 2 that made me go, I have to see this film. In fact, I avoided it like it was a Klan rally.
That's the thing is, like, with comedy movies, there literally is nothing that there's no comedy movie that I've seen a trailer for that's made me want to watch that movie, because all comedy movies are fucking horrible.
You know what I did watch last year, and I really enjoyed it? Office Christmas Party.
which
And it
I
was the
really
only
wanted to see.
film that I laughed out loud at. Because it's Sausage Party.
Sausage
was
Party
not that.
blew.
Sausage Party was fucking
It was
horrible.
undercooked. It was
Yeah,
awful.
big time. It was terrible, and so
It was
Sausage
shock
Party
value.
is tried too much. It was like you're trying too hard,
And it had
You're
a
not
political
South
agenda
Park.
to it. Like Seth Rogen putting in his politics into it. Like, okay, guy, we know you're Jewish and blah, blah, blah. I mean, and we respect that. I mean, it's nice to put that in there, but you can't force it on people. The cast of people that he got was great. And
Well,
they made a douche a villain, like a little douchebag. So, I mean, that was kind of funny.
They also fucked over all the people who actually animated it by not paying them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
They didn't pay them properly, and they overworked them, and they tried to undercut them massively.
The animation wasn't even that great either.
Yeah, the whole movie was just fucking terrible.
It was a mess.
Yeah,
I couldn't even get past like the first 5 minutes.
And if you look at it, the trailer kind of ruins the whole thing. And half of what the trailer is, it's like within a 5-minute period of the film. That's it.
Yep.
And then everything else is just
the rest
crap.
of it was shit that was so shocking you couldn't show it.
I will admit though,
Yeah.
I'm a comedy person. I will always be a comedy person. I've like some really crappy comedies that are generally disliked, like Pauly Shore movies. And
The problem with comedy movies that are made by studios is they're made by studios to hit the largest audience within the demographic that they're trying to go for, rather than something like that's actually truly funny, like Super Troopers, which was made by an independent group who just didn't give a fuck about reaching a specific audience. They just wanted to make their movie and get it out there, and they did that, and it was amazing.
And speaking of that, they're making a Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, with $4.5 million worth of crowdfunded money, which is like almost double the budget or triple the budget that they had for the original Super Troopers. So
I wasn't a huge fan of that. It's all right. It's not bad by any means, but it's not laugh out loud hilarious like everybody else says it is, personally. But I do like their other movies. Club Dread was pretty good.
I think I
Beer
watched,
Fest and The Slam and Salmon was a nice surprise.
I think I watched that movie in the best conditions possible.
Super Troopers?
Yeah, because like I watched it on my computer late at night at my parents' house when everybody else is asleep, and I was not allowed to laugh because if I laughed, I would wake people up. And goddamn, that movie was like 10 times funnier than it probably should have been just because of that. Because the whole time of just sitting there,
Did
like,
you wake anybody up though?
No, I did not wake anybody up. I did have my hands clamped over my mouth for like half the fucking film, though.
Trying to think.
It worked. Okay, so let's get back on this. I'm
Anyway.
shocked this thing about Logan just launched you guys off into this,
That's
man.
what
I
happens
really
when you
was
talk.
shocked.
That's what happens when you talk about movies, man.
Yeah.
You go from one place to another. There's nothing wrong with that.
I was really shocked by that. Let's go ahead. I got another one. This is one that's big with the geeks. It's coming out this Friday. We have Kong Skull
I
Island.
wouldn't say that's with the geeks. Everybody just wants to see a better.
Isn't that already out?
No, it comes out this Friday.
Technically, it comes out tomorrow night with like the technically sneak preview, but not really.
So I swear I have somebody I know that's already seen it.
So they did show the Draft House showed it in Brooklyn, and they had the live stream. Well, they had Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, and I think one other person. I can't remember. I don't think it was John Goodman, but like they had him there, and they were doing like a live stream or something, and like people asking him questions and stuff. And as soon as I saw Draft House, I thought it was down here, and I was like, shit, how did I miss this? Because I always seem to miss celebrities when they're in Austin. Which I'll be missing South by Southwest because I can't afford to go this year. But
That's okay. You don't want to go.
I want to go for the movie parts. But that's about it.
You don't want to have to travel downtown. In the
I
middle of
don't.
South
You're
by
right. I
Southwest.
don't. But yeah, Kong Skull Island looks good. I have tickets to see it this Sunday.
That's
It's
where
not.
I'm going.
It's not 3 hours like Peter Jackson's version. Thank God, because that thing dragged out. Plus the horrible miscasting of Adrian Brody. Jack Black was adequate, I guess. It was. For him to go out of his comfort zone, it wasn't terrible. Have you seen? I mean, you've seen
No,
it. You haven't seen it.
I didn't.
You never watched the Peter Jackson version?
It's not really worth
I
seeing.
looked at it and I was like, no, this looks like it's a piece of shit.
It's
It
like
was
Lord,
actually a
it's
really
Lord of the
good film.
Rings on an island, but it's just 3 hours long and it drags. Way
So
on.
Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings was on a fucking island.
Yeah, I went with my wife and kids,
Was it?
so it was
It was all
actually
filmed
really
in New
good.
Zealand.
Well, yeah, I know it's in New Zealand, but I haven't seen Lord of the Rings in
Yeah.
a long time. So
I really enjoyed it. I watched it, wife and kids.
The
We all
Peter
loved
Jackson
it.
one?
Yeah, we loved it. It was a family thing for us, so we enjoyed it as a film. It wasn't. We actually even bought it, I think, on Blu-ray when it came out.
We-
Like I think we have that movie in our
I
collection.
think the
I
problem
have it
that
on
I have
DVD.
with the new Kong movie, which I want to go see it, but I don't think I'm going to see it in a theater, is that
discount theater.
it looks like it's the only thing holding the movie up is the fact that they paid a lot of money for the cast. Like, I think the storyline is going to be shit. There's going to be no characterization. There's going to be no one's going to fucking have any kind of character arc whatsoever. It's just going to be a shitty action movie. But because it has Samuel L. Jackson in it, and because it has,
It's
all the rest,
PG-13
of the, all the
Samuel
rest of the
Jackson.
people in it that are in it are going to be the thing that people are going to go see it for.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's
I
an
mean,
ensemble cast.
John Goodman, John C. Reilly, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And then Brie Larson not doing like an Oscar-y role. She's just having fun. I mean, all the reviews I've seen so far are saying that it's actually really good, and there is a good amount of action in it. I don't think it's not directed by the same guy that did Godzilla, is it? Gareth Edwards? Because I know he did Rogue One, but Kong Skull Island is setting up for King Kong versus Godzilla movie, and I believe
I
2020.
have yet to see that confirmed. All I hear is people
I've
want it
seen
to
their
happen.
speculation, just like
Yeah.
there's speculation about 21 Jump Street crossing over with Men in Black, which I personally think would be the greatest freaking thing ever.
Pretty
I personally
sure-
think that would be awesome because 21 Jump Street surprised everybody.
Pretty sure that Godzilla would fucking win.
I've never seen the only Godzilla movie that I've seen, unfortunately, is that 1998 disaster of a
Oh,
movie
God.
with Matthew Broderick.
Why would you do
I
that to
have the
yourself?
the newer one on Blu-ray because I got it on Black Friday, but I have not watched it yet.
This is what pisses me off. That one line you just said right there is what pissed me off about you.
Dude,
as
I
a
blind buy movies all the time when
Yeah.
they're cheap.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the whole thing that you just haven't seen. Like, okay, this is our age difference. I've watched every fucking Godzilla movie ever.
Well, it comes down to the foreign stuff again. Like,
You
just
seen the new one?
I own it, and I
course
also
you've
have
seen it.
Final Wars
The
from
new one
2000.
the new one from Japan.
That's the one night it was here, I had to fucking work and couldn't go. So I'm still trying to get that one. I'm still trying to get my hands on it. I want to see
what was it
that
called? Was it just called
Shin
Godzilla?
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shin Godzilla.
Godzilla
Okay, I did hear
Resurrection
about that. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
English.
Yeah, I want to see that one. That's the one that I'm missing. So when it, bro, if I went all the way like when 2008, 2006, when they did Godzilla Final Wars, and it was the mega battle with Godzilla and all the old creatures, I went out of my way to find that.
I have
one. So
heard of
I'm
that one.
telling
I
you,
do want to see that.
I was working. Yes, we're gonna be doing that.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't lie. Those are the types of foreign films that I could get behind, just because Godzilla's a badass.
I've watched.
And then,
yeah.
so supposedly Godzilla was originally the bad guy, and then he's fighting other monsters that are the bad guys. Like,
Well,
I mean, Mothra and Mecha Godzilla and
Okay, but there was the first black and white Godzilla with Raymond Burr. So
Gojira.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and give some history to this. And that was very much this whole statement against nuclear power. Okay, that's really all the movie was, a black and white version of nuclear power is dangerous, and this is what's going to happen.
See, in the first movie, we pissed Godzilla off by nuking him.
Mm-hmm.
So he came and destroyed Japan.
1954 one.
And then after that, it turned into Godzilla versus all these other monsters, and Godzilla's supposed to be the
good guy.
protector
Yeah.
of
Which is,
Japan.
I mean, it's kind of cool how that works out. It's like Terminator style.
Yeah, and then they made this shitty movie
Which
with
one?
Matthew Broderick,
Yeah.
which was terrible.
Oh, God.
And then they tried to resurrect it with the new Godzilla from 2014. And what they did then is that Godzilla, it was really cool because what they did is they pulled back a lot of the stuff where they were saying, hey, when we were doing those nuclear testing out in the South Seas, we were actually trying to kill Godzilla back then.
I was saying, yeah. I
discovered
heard
it.
he was just kind of like in the background because the movie's like over 2 hours long, but he's only in it for like 22 minutes of screen time. I believe.
Now here's where it gets good because what they did is they
don't
set
spoil
this.
it 'cause I haven't seen
I don't
it.
want to fuck you up, but they set the story up where Godzilla basically that protector role, like
gone.
he's a nature equalizer. So when other shit shows up, he should show up to fuck them up, and that's really what the old movies were about.
It's kind of what King Kong versus Godzilla would be. It would be like Captain America's Civil War. One guy just shows up.
There is an old King. There is a King Kong versus Godzilla from 70 something.
Yeah,
that I
there
watched
is.
as a kid, and it was. I think it was a little too American because it was just weird.
Well, there was a King Kong version in the 70s with Jeff Bridges too.
I've seen that one too.
I
You
heard
guys
that.
are talking. When I tell you I've watched a lot of movies, that list that I showed you, and we were like, what I was at 1,500 something films already.
Yeah.
that was just the films that I had watched. I hadn't even finished everything because that hadn't even covered most of the 70s and 80s and films that I had watched. So that's where I really, when I tell you guys, I'm a movie junkie. I'm serious. I sit around and watch a lot of crap films.
So my biggest problem, like with me, my watching experiences, honestly, is I have all these movies that I want to watch, but sometimes like I just need to be in the right mindset to watch them. Like if I usually try to watch stuff like before I go to bed, and if I get up early, I'll finish it in the morning. But then I'll be like, well, I kind of want to see like this movie, but I feel like I'm gonna need to actually pay attention to it. So I'll just end up watching either a TV show or some movie that I've already seen that I know I like, that I haven't maybe seen in a while.
Yeah, man, I'm a guy that will go, like I've told you, I wanted to see a movie, and I'll just go. Like, tomorrow night, I have tickets to go watch Sword Art Online, Ordinal Scale, one night only. It's playing on 500 screens. I bought my tickets 7 days before this movie came. I am going to see this film tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like I'm really big about watching film, and I'm really big about, I don't care if it's in subtitles. Fuck you, I want to see this film, I'll read.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I'm just one of those guys. I'm a junkie when it comes to film and stuff like that.
Another movie that you might want to watch that you'll probably like a lot, that is subtitled, so you'll have to read. But have you ever watched Troll Hunter?
Oh my god!
I think
so
I've
good.
heard of that. Is that?
It's
I know it has
it's a
no
s-
relation to Troll and Troll 2, obviously.
It's a
but-
Swedish found film, kind of like Blair Witch Project style movie, where these kids are like doing a school project, and they wind up hooking up with a guy who is essentially like a game warden for trolls, because trolls are real, but nobody knows that they exist. Mm-hmm. And the whole movie is them following him around while he does his job, and it is fucking amazing.
And
start
it
to
should
finish.
not be that good. You
I
don't
saw
think it's
it
going to be that good.
5 times in the theaters.
Yeah, I could
It
never
was
do
that
that.
fucking good.
The only movie I've seen, I've seen a lot of movies twice in the theaters when I was a kid because I made my parents drag me to them. But the only movie I've seen more than twice was Star Wars Episode 2. But that was only because I got they were giving away free tickets in cereal boxes. So I would buy cereal boxes and then make my dad pay for another ticket for him, and I'd see it for free. Can't argue with that.
Bro, I watched Mad Max 3 times when it came out, the new one.
And
watched
that's
it
one
twice.
that I
I watched it
still
3
haven't.
times
I
at the
call
Draft
myself a
House.
movie
Yeah.
buff, and I haven't seen Mad Max yet. But I have it, and I do plan to watch it soon. But like I said, I just need to be in the right mindset to watch it.
No, I think what you need to do is quit being a wuss and just start watching movies. And just fuck
I
my mind,
do
I'm gonna
watch
start
movies.
watching.
I
I'm just going to watch it and just go in there and just say, this was great experience.
Oh, it will be. And they're even playing it in theater, in theaters again.
They have the
but-
black and chrome edition, which just came out, which is basically just the whole movie, but in black and white.
I mean, I wasn't even a huge fan of the very first Mad Max.
You don't have to be a fan
I'm just saying.
of any of the previous Mad Max movies to watch this because it's technically not connected to any of them.
It's just
Even though it technically is, or it's supposed to be.
I know, and trust me,
Really
I'm gonna watch it soon. I'm going to. It's gonna be done like in the next week or so.
Okay, cool. I'm going to hit you with this film. Brandon, I feel this next film I'm about to name, you're going to end up seeing it.
Which one?
And I know you're going to watch it.
What is it?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the
Nope.
Beast looks amazing.
Jenny is going to drag you to this film, isn't
Yeah, but I know. I'm
So
not
I
going
was
to
like,
see it by
when you
choice.
said no, I was like, bro, don't pretend like you're not getting drugged to this movie with me. Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is going to be awesome. As far as live action Disney remakes, since apparently they're making like all of them. Lion King's coming out, Aladdin's coming out, Tarzan. Well, I don't think that Tarzan movie was related.
But Jungle Book did
Jungle
really well.
Book, yeah,
Jungle
supposedly
Book
did
was
really
amazing.
well.
Because John Favreau.
There's
is
those
fucking
Alice in
involved.
Wonderland's one, but those technically don't count since they were before. Favreau's making The Lion King, which I don't know.
I mean, he made the
How?
Jungle Book.
I think that's going to be awkward, though.
There's
but-
no human character in the Lion King, so doing it live action doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
it's gonna be
that's
doing.
exactly
It's gonna
it,
be
yeah.
a full CG movie at that point.
But Beauty and the Beast, the first trailer that I saw, like Beauty and the Beast isn't even my favorite Disney movie, but it looks amazing. Emma Watson, everybody loves her. I
don't.
do. I've had a huge crush on her since Harry Potter 1. She's a very charming person. She's gonna nail the role. I don't necessarily know who Luke Evans is, or at least I'm not familiar with his work. Who's playing the Beast? But it also has like some of the voices are incredible.
Oh, no.
And then Josh Gad is playing his little Gaston's assistant. I can't remember what his name was. The little guy who's supposedly a gay character now, a homosexual character, which is causing a lot of controversy. Which, I mean, I understand the controversy. I don't necessarily agree with it, but at the same time, I think they're kind of shoehorning that in to go with today's society. But then again, I can see how they would portray that character as a homosexual.
Yeah.
Because he was like obsessed with Gaston.
Yeah, I mean, he was way too obsessed.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, look, there's hero worship in this. Like, I really want you to be my man.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just the way that they're marketing it. They're like, oh, hey, yeah, we're making this character gay. Like,
I don't even think they
could've
came out and said it. I think people saw early showings of it and found a reason to bitch
I don't
about
know
it.
the specific reason. I know that one theater in Alabama is like not going to show it at all, which is ridiculous. But
It's
hey,
Alabama, though.
It's Alabama.
I mean, we have a saying on the show called "But that's Alabama," and it's certain states have those sayings where you just go when you hear something stupid and you go, "Was it in the South?" Yes, that's Alabama.
Everybody
Or
just
that's
all the
Florida.
foreigners assume the South. Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida man.
If it's Florida,
Every time something stupid happens in Florida, it's all Florida man's fault.
yeah, everything.
It's like Florida man does XYZ.
yeah, Florida man killed by alligator while trying to rape it. Yeah, okay, that sounds like Florida. Yeah, we know Florida. I will tell you a movie that I'm kind of excited for. I want to know if you guys are looking for this one. This is on my radar. The Belko Experiment. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
I don't even know
Yes,
what the hell
I've
that
watched
is.
both trailers, and it looks supposedly that is a pseudo remake of some movie. I want to say it might be The Raid. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen that because
I've seen
foreign.
The Raid, the foreign version of the
Well,
film.
Dread is the
Well, Dread, yes,
Dread is the American remake
But-
of the Raid.
Oh, so it's either that or this. The Belko Experiment is like kind of like a ripoff of some other foreign film in a way. I can't remember what it was
Go
called,
look into that.
but I know it is. But regardless of that, it has John C. McGinley, who's incredible. Dr. Cox is one of my favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
I think Rob Corddry was in it. Michael Roker, who played Merle on The Walking Dead. That guy's always entertaining.
Yeah.
Always. And it just looked like a nice thriller. There's little movies that just came out of nowhere, and it's going to maybe blow people away.
By the way, if you haven't seen Dread 3D, the Dread movie that came out a couple years ago, go fucking watch it.
Are we talking about the one with Keith Urban?
Yes.
Carl
That fucking
Urban.
Carl
That
Urban.
movie was
Keith Urban. Now that would be a movie. Now that's a movie that I would get behind.
Yeah, no, that was a great movie.
Yeah. And I mean, it's technically has the same exact storyline as The Raid, but it's fucking Judge Dredd, and it's 2 judges against an entire fucking army of gang members
Yeah, I remember that
in a
movie. It was great.
200-story high-rise. Go fucking watch it. It is so goddamn good.
The only Dread movie I've seen was that crappy
No,
1995
don't watch the
one.
Stallone one.
It's
Don't
like-
watch the Stallone one.
I already did. I do want to see this one. I heard that. Well, I heard it's a crappy movie, but the effects are just incredible, and it's just
What?
like non-stop action.
Are you talking about the new Dread?
The new Dread. It's not like the greatest movie ever, but
No,
it's just,
it is the greatest fucking movie ever.
You go watch this shit.
I will.
Yeah.
It's along the lines of like the forgotten like classic fucking movies, like the Punisher movie, the 2007 Punisher movie with
Warzone.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
that
one.
movie is amazing. Like that movie, if you've read Punisher comics and then you watch that movie, it is like watching a Punisher comic on screen.
Okay.
The problem is that nobody was fucking ready for that movie.
I heard
Nobody.
it was definitely way more brutal than the 2004 or
The
2005
first
one.
scene is him killing an entire fucking mob family with guns, knives, explosions.
Didn't he do that? Didn't they also do that in the first time that they showed him in Daredevil? Because you showed it to me at work one day.
Yeah,
It was
where you
like
lit that building up.
Yeah,
he
he
just
just
lit a
lifts the
building
building
up.
up. Yeah, that's just him with a chain gun from like across the street.
Oh, okay.
This is like him. He like sneaks up, like takes people out outside quietly,
Mm-hmm.
breaks into the house, gets above them, drops down with guns, fucking spins around upside down, fucking shooting shooting mob members, gets down, fucking starts stabbing people to death because he's running out of bullets, and then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the best goddamn Punisher movie that was ever made. And in
Well,
fact,
there's only 3.
the guy that fucking plays the Punisher was actually the first choice by Kevin Feige to play the Punisher when they first started talking about making a Punisher film.
Is this back in like before the 2004 version? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Jane wasn't the best at that.
I
and
didn't like him at all.
The movie was fine. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember I kind of liked it just because it took convincing my mom to let me see it, and it was violent, so I was like, all right, this is kind of awesome. Yeah. He fights Kevin Nash. That scene was incredible. Just Kevin Nash beating the shit out of him.
Kevin Nash is really good in
He's good in everything these days.
John Wick.
Apparently
He's only in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Apparently, people are saying he was really good in Magic Mike of all things too.
Yeah.
And he was in The Longest Yard. That dude's got talent.
But yeah, Ray Stevenson was Kevin Feige's first pick to play the Punisher in this Punisher film. And the director, Lexi Alexander, just said, sure, let's do it, and picked him up. She was not, she didn't know the character and the lore and everything, so she literally read all the fucking comics that she could get her hands on that were from the Punisher series before they started the film.
Yeah.
And then they made that movie, and like there were critics at the time who said that it was really good. Like fucking Patton Oswalt wrote an entire article about how fucking awesome that movie was.
The Punisher one?
Yeah.
Warzone?
And then it just got buried under all of this other shit that was out at the time.
Yeah. It
And
was,
then
a lot of people, it doesn't get recognized. I know that for a fact. There's
Go
a,
watch it.
2008 was a great year for movies too, so I can understand why it got overshadowed. So I'm gonna move on to the next one here. This might be a controversial choice as far as Brandon goes, considering he hates comedies. But personally, I'm really excited for the Chips movie that comes out in 2 weeks.
What?
The 1980s show with Eric Estrada, Dax Shepard, and Michael Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena.
Dax Shepard is directing the reboot or remake or just
So it's
movie
another
version
movie
of that.
based on a TV show from the 80s.
But it looks
but
incredible.
it looks really good.
They're
Dax
making
Shepard-
a Chips movie?
Yes. And Dax Shepard is the most underrated person in Hollywood right now. He
Look.
is an amazing director.
Brandon.
His relationship with Kristen Bell is like goals,
I see what you're doing.
and he's hilarious.
Stop. I'm going to stop, Chris. I see your head. You're like, All you heard was Chip's movie, and you were like, "It's shit."
Not potato chips.
I'm telling you right now,
It's
I
shit.
saw
It's
the
gonna-
trailer.
it's gonna be the
and
sleeper
It, really,
hit.
it convinced me, and I'm not. You know, I'm a shithead.
You cannot polish a turd.
You can polish this turd.
Dax Shepard
Well,
can
maybe
polish
you
any
could because
turd he
it's
wants.
old enough to be petrified at this point.
Yeah, no, you
But
polished
still,
this one. This really
It's
looks
gonna
like,
be fucking horrible.
As
$10
long-
says Eric Estrada shows up in that too. I'm sure Dax Shepard would get him to show up.
I mean,
I won't
you
be
could
shocked
make a
if he
really
makes a
good
cameo.
trailer and have a shit movie follow.
And that's
it. Just
happening.
Look at Batman
that
versus
happens.
Superman.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
but-
been happening a lot lately because trailers are just using music to market themselves now.
Or
and
unless
there's
you're Suicide
teasers.
Squad and you use your whole film to market an album.
And there's teasers for actual trailers.
Well, that's
now.
what happens
Or
when
there's
you give the
teasers
trailer
for teasers,
house
and then
the
the
movie
trailer
to
comes
cut.
out. But either way, Chips is gonna be awesome. I just watched his other movie, Hit and Run, again today,
Thank God.
and that movie is still amazing.
yeah, I love Hit and Run.
And he's like a car fanatic in real life, and like he personally, most of the budget that he used for that movie was to put his favorite music in there because it was so hard to get. But I watched that again, and it was hilarious.
All right.
He's even reached out, like he's responded to me on Twitter twice, and he just seems like the nicest dude ever.
Well, I'm going to hit you with this one. I just want to hear the opinions about this. On March 24th, we're getting that same day that Chips comes out. Power Rangers will be opening. I already know how you feel. You've seen the trailers. You think it's going to be the worst bomb for this studio.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't understand why Bryan Cranston picked that film. I mean, it must be for just the paycheck.
Well, do you
because-
realize his last movie was that Why Him, though, with James Franco? I haven't seen it, and it looked mildly funny, but I doubt it was any good.
That's why I didn't see it. Either he's just picking things because they're providing a pretty big paycheck, or he's not critically thinking about.
I mean, look at Al Pacino and
career.
Jack and Jill. Why in God's name did he do that?
for a paycheck.
Yeah.
That whole movie was
or
a
just
fucking
for him
scam.
to say Dunkachino at the end.
That whole movie was just
It was a
fucking
disaster.
scam.
It's the worst
No,
Adam
not-
Sandler movie
Not
out
a
there.
disaster, a scam. Literally a scam. Like they scammed Sony out of the money to be able to make that film, and then they made it for the cheapest amount possible, and then gave huge paychecks to all the people who came in. It was a fucking cash cow. That's
Did
all
you
Adam
actually see
Sandler's
it though?
films are at
Did
this
you
point.
actually watch it?
Jack and Jill.
No. God, no.
I hate to fucking say this, but I remember my daughter rented it out of a red box one time. So I've actually seen that film. Like
There's nothing wrong with
she was
seeing
like,
it.
"Dad, I really want to watch this film," and I was like, "I got to give $1 for this."
It's an Adam Sandler movie. I mean, even if Adam Sandler has gone downhill. I won't deny that. I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan. I recently wrote a post of ranking I think it was like 34 of his like main roles of him playing a major character in a movie. That was Jack and Jill was at the bottom. His 2 movies on Netflix were horrible.
The
The
2 movies
Ridiculous
that he's
Six.
done on Netflix were the most popular movies that Netflix has put
It
on
is
the
yeah,
fucking service.
Yeah, the Ridiculous 6 was like the highest amount of
It
views
doesn't
in
make any
24
goddamn
hours.
sense. I don't understand. Like, he looks completely fucking disinterested and pissed off in every movie that he does. All the movies that he produces, he doesn't give a shit about them. They are paychecks, one right after the other, because he gave up fucking 10 years ago.
Well, people
after
started
Little
giving
Nicky.
up on him too.
There's a reason.
His early
No,
2000s
there's a
stuff was
reason.
great.
There's a reason.
Did you guys not like Punch Drunk Love?
Punch Drunk Love was awesome, but you know what was better than Punch Drunk Love, and probably his most underseen movie is Reign Over Me. If you have not seen that, you need to check it out.
That's the one where
That's the one where he looks like Bob Dylan. Yeah, his family, his wife and 2 daughters die in 9/11. Don Cheadle plays his roommate from college who finds him like on the streets and tries to reconnect with him, but Adam Sandler's character is like mentally ill just because he's never gotten over the death of his family, and it's a very powerful movie. It is his best role,
And it was
nobody
also
has
his
seen that
most
movie.
underwatched film.
Nobody has seen that movie.
Because he's mentally ill.
No, it's Brandon. That movie's you won't like it. I can guarantee it, but
I think you
it's
would.
incredible.
I really think you would.
It's
I
the
refuse to
last
watch
20
anything
minutes
with
are
Adam Sandler
like
in it
very
anymore.
sad, and it also features part of the plot is actually him playing Shadow of the Colossus. That has to do with a lot of the plot because that's where he finds solitude playing that game. If you remember that,
Yeah.
he would sit on his floor because he didn't have any furniture, and he kept trying to get Don Cheadle to play Shadow of the Colossus. He'd be like, Colossus.
It was, dude. It's better than you think. Okay, let me keep this moving along. This film, Guardians, Volume 2.
Fuck yeah.
Guardians
You're
is gonna be
100%
awesome.
sold out.
I'm on board.
This, Is that? Let me ask you.
That's another movie. I watched that movie
Guardians
6 times in the
still one of your
fucking
favorite
theaters.
films out of all the Marvel films?
Yeah.
Is Guardians your number one?
It's like now it's Logan and then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Whoa.
So Guardians of the Galaxy for me,
And I saw Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters 6 times. I've only seen Logan once.
I did not see Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters because I don't even think I really saw the trailers just because I didn't go to see a lot of movies that year.
Yeah.
But I saw it when it came out. Like I ordered it on demand the day that it came out, and I liked it a lot. It was very surprising. Chris Pratt, probably one of the most charismatic actors out right now.
I'll give you that
Everybody
one.
loves the guy. Batista, who the hell knew that he could act? I mean,
Well,
granted, he's just the muscle.
That's
but
the thing is he can't act, but they gave him a role
Where he
that's
just
very
fit.
easy for him to fit into.
Yeah.
Bro, and that deadpan
But he
style
fucking
just nails
kills it.
The problem is,
It's
I think
amazing to see him in that role.
I think he's gonna do this. It's gonna be the same character in this one, and they're just gonna but he's gonna be more of a comic relief. I think. Like they're
That's
gonna
what he
switch
did
it.
in
They're
there,
gonna
if you
switch it
thought
from
about
Rocket to
that shit
to
got
Drax.
super serious at points, and then Batista would say something as Drax, and then you would be like, "Fuck yeah, I needed that. It lightened the mood again." That's his role as Drax in these movies.
Well,
I
that's
think.
how Get Out was. That's what the humor in that movie was.
Oh yeah, no,
They
seriously.
like it was there to make you not go crazy for like a minute.
It loosen you back up.
Yeah.
And then
And then it would tighten
we're going to tighten your
tighten your
asshole back up
butthole up
again.
again.
But the guy that played Rod in that movie was hilarious in Get Out. If you hadn't seen it, Brandon,
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I just haven't
really
seen
do
it yet.
recommend it. It was a great film.
Yeah.
for me.
I went and saw. I was gonna see Get Out, and then they were Mueller Draft House until the 9th is doing their opening where they have
Yeah.
like half price food and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I went and saw John Wick 2 over there instead of going to see Get Out because they didn't have
nice.
it there.
Yeah, Guardians is going to be awesome though, and the one thing I like about Guardians, I mean, it's got one of the best soundtracks of any movie in the past probably 10 years, if that.
I think I listened to
and,
the soundtrack on repeat on
like
my
the
phone for,
trailers. Hopefully they'll
months.
actually use some of the songs in the trailers because I mean, Fox on the Run is one of my all-time favorite songs, and they could easily incorporate it into that movie, just like they did the other ones. And it was even cool that they even released the first album on tape. Like nobody has cassette players anymore, but they did it anyway because that's what the movie was.
So that's on May 5th. So both of you, this is an end. You're both like opening
Oh, hell
weekend
yeah.
want to see
I
this
was
one.
in for the second one at the end of the first one.
So
Okay.
May 5th, the week. So May's actually a pretty good month here. We got May 5th, Guardians. May 12th is Alien Covenant, which that's going to be
I was
pretty
about
cool.
to hit you both. I want to know where you are. Did you not like the Prometheus?
So I have not seen
was
Prometheus.
boring as shit. And then there's that whole fucking scene at the end where instead
ruin
of just running to the left or running to the right
Oh, that
to
thing-
get away from the goddamn spaceship, she just keeps running straight.
Which the trailer spoils anyway. So the thing, I haven't seen Prometheus, and I haven't seen the only Alien movie that I can actually remember liking was the first. I bought the quadrilogy recently, and I plan. So this month I just watched all the X-Men movies. This month I'm going to the Fast and the Furious franchise before Fate of the Furious comes out, and then after I finish that, I'm going through all the Alien movies. And technically the Predator movies, just since they made those crossovers, I just want to watch them all regardless because I've never seen Predators or Predator 2. But either way, Alien Covenant has me sold because, first of all, it looks like it's going back to its roots of actual horror violence, not action like Aliens or shit like Aliens 3 or 4 from what I remember.
Aliens 4 was awesome.
The underwater
Enjoyed
scene in that
every
was cool.
Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. There's not a bad one in that group. To me.
Winona
The
Ryder's
reason why Aliens
completely
4 was
miscast in that.
good was because it was written by Joss Whedon.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know if you've seen it. If you go back
I've
and
seen
watch
it. I just don't remember it.
it's like a proto Firefly because they have all the same types of personality types that are on Firefly. They have in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back and watch Aliens 4, it's not.
Oh, I will.
a piece of
Trust
shit.
me, I will. And I'm going to be
But
ranking all
The
this.
reason why I know Alien Covenant's going to be fucking horrible is because Ridley Scott is already ready to make 6 more.
Yeah, I have heard that
I'm
they
just
are
like-
going to they are making another one after that already.
This movie
Regardless
is
of probably how it does in the box
terrible.
office. The one thing that
Fucking terrible.
that I'm most curious about Covenant, Danny McBride is in that movie. He is known for his comedy, Eastbound and Down, all those Seth Rogen movies. I think that he's going to blow people away with his performance in this. I think it's
he's
good
just
for him
gonna
to
be
tackle it on. And if you've noticed,
schlocky fucking comedy relief.
he is never that. No, trust me. He has said that movie is not. There's no comic relief in that movie. Maybe like 1 or 2 scenes like there is in every movie, but he said that thing is straight up horror.
Have you seen the previews for Life?
Life.
Life.
The movie that has Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds. Life. Have you not seen
Isn't that like sci-fi?
Yeah, it's pretty much a fucking aliens movie. They get stuck in outer space on a ship with this thing.
So like Gravity.
No.
Yeah.
So
Gravity sucked.
So you guys really?
I fucking hated that movie.
Did you just say Gravity?
Gravity sucked. I hate Sandra Bullock. It sucked. But that's for another time.
That movie just sucked based on basic
Okay,
science.
thank you. See,
It's
he
fucking
agrees with me.
complete
Brandon
and utter.
agrees with me. So
It's complete
That
and
doesn't
utter
make it right.
disregard for basic fucking science in that goddamn film. Fuck it.
I'm not.
Screw that movie. Fuck
Well, I'm not
Sandra
even on
Bullock.
it. I don't. Nothing on a technical level. I just thought it was boring as hell.
Okay.
Apparently, the theater experience was supposed to make it better, like they said with Avatar. But for me,
Yeah.
like 3D
Don't even get me
I like
3D's
that
dying.
Avatar at home,
Pocahontas
too.
in space.
3D's just dying. Period. Nobody really wants to see 3D anymore, but they keep coming out with it.
Nobody really wanted to see 3D in the first place. It was an industry thing where we finally figured out a way to do it properly. And then
Yeah.
they were like, okay, well, we know how to do it properly. Let's see if people will bite. And then they made a whole fuckload of TVs and they made Blu-ray players that can do
So
3D.
I do remember there's a couple. I've seen a couple 3D movies in theaters. There was the Spy Kids 3D when I was a kid, and I was a kid, so I thought that was the coolest friggin' thing ever because you're inside of a video game, and that's real here. I was 10 when that came out, so I loved every minute of it. I watched it recently, and it's kind of shit now, but what other? I saw.
I don't care. I'm gonna move you guys on because we'll be stuck on this all day. Pirates 5.
No.
Pirates 5. I don't know.
No.
I'm very curious about that one. Pirates 1, awesome.
No.
Pirates 2, it was okay. Pirates 3, shit.
No Pirates.
Pirates
5.
4, it got better than 3 because 3 was just really long. The problem with 4 was they didn't have Orlando Bloom wasn't there and Keira Knightley wasn't there.
Problem with 4
And-
was that it was the fourth one.
But Ian Shane was
The
as
problem-
Blackbeard was fucking awesome.
The problem with those movies is that the only reason why they were successful was because we liked Johnny Depp's character because Johnny Depp's character wasn't the main character.
yes, exactly, and
When
that's
Johnny
why the
Depp's
other
character-
movies got.
when any movie that is interesting because of
Of
a
the
side
supporting
character,
characters.
because of a supporting character, when that supporting character becomes the main character, nobody gives a fuck about it anymore.
I wouldn't say anybody
Unless it's
gives
a children's
fuck.
film, and then it's fucking Minions, and fuck those movies too. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well that brings
So
me
that's
to this
well. Wait a
next
second.
film.
Hold on. So that's the biggest thing that Pirates 5 needs to do is it
Find
needs to,
somebody else that the movie needs to be about.
Exactly. Well, so that's the thing. Will Turner's he's coming back. Javier Bardem's villain looks pretty damn cool. That guy is menacing as hell whenever he plays.
But didn't we just see a Pirates movie where the dead took over the sea?
what?
Wasn't that Dead Man's Curse?
What?
I don't know.
I mean, to me, it looks like a rehash of the second and third films.
Of the Pirates movies?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even remember anything about him. All I know is that Johnny Depp was nominated for an Oscar for that performance in the first one. A supporting actor.
Yeah.
That was an Oscar nominated performance.
All
So
he was
for-
really doing was just a caricature
drunk,
of
yeah.
Keith Richards.
And then they actually cast Keith Richards as his father in the third
They
one.
did it on purpose.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a no for you.
No.
And it's a maybe for you.
No, I'm seeing it. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch the 4 before I see it. I'm gonna go into theaters with an
next?
open mind.
Yeah, we got a time's
next?
counting down, so I'm going to have to keep this moving now. So these are all going to be quick answers. Don't want you to get too deep. Wonder Woman, June 2nd.
I'm hoping it's not shit.
Yes.
What did the trailers make you think right now?
She was the best part of Batman vs Superman, so I'm down for it.
Okay. You didn't like anything about Batman versus Superman.
I mean, I liked Ben
Martha.
Affleck as Batman was fine. Her as Wonder Woman was great. The rest of the whole fucking thing can just be thrown in the ocean.
See, I was one of the people that actually liked Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. A lot of people will disagree with that.
God.
I like him as an actor, period. I will admit, so you're going to give me shit again. I have not seen any of the old Superman, so I cannot compare him to Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman is a great
I'm
actor.
not comparing him to Gene Hackman. I'm
Gene
comparing
Hackman
him to
sucks
the
in that movie.
actual
Oh, really?
character that we've had in comics for fucking 60 or
Well, so
70
that's the
years
thing, and
now.
that's the thing I always mention on my blog, but obviously I'm not reading my blog here. I know, as far as comics go, I don't read comics at all. The only thing that I know about them is from
He was acting more
what
like
people
the
tell me.
Joker than he was like
That's
Lex
actually
Luthor,
interesting.
and that's the problem.
He touched on something. See, this is the guy that goes to... You and I go into a movie like that, and we bring in the baggage of the comic books and years of collecting and reading them. where he went into that movie and he doesn't read the comic books.
That's any
and he
superhero
has
movie.
No expectations, what the fuck soever. He is a blank slate.
And usually I read
if you
articles
like that
after
character,
the fact.
if you like that character because you don't have the baggage, can you not see that in that film, everything that he was doing made no fucking sense
I
whatsoever?
wasn't paying attention to that though. Trust me. Granted, I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, and I want to see the Ultimate Edition just to see if it changes anything. But
What's
Wow.
next?
That's
next?
interesting.
What's
this
next?
bring you back
What's
for that
next?
one. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Yes.
it's gonna be better than Guardians.
Jesus.
Calling it now.
No, Guardians.
What?
Guardians is gonna be
Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. I've liked, besides the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was very weak for a lot of different reasons. Garfield was good. Tobey Maguire was great. Tom Holland's gonna bring a new type to it. It's gonna be awesome. Michael Keaton is the Vulture. He's gonna kick ass. Just hopefully they don't overstuff it, because apparently there's two other villains.
What
There's
is
the
it
Shocker,
with
and then
Michael
there's
Keaton?
the Tinkerer.
What is it with Michael Keaton and getting to play characters that are based on?
I think it's all
animals?
ironic. I think that
Birdman,
they literally
Vulture.
made Birdman probably
the
because
Vulture,
of Batman.
Batman.
Dude, any type of, he's gonna voice like an eagle and something else. Like,
Okay, next film. War of the Planet of the Apes. That's a July 14th release. I love the new Planet of the Apes films, but that's a personal preference for me, and I've watched them all.
so
We're too deep in the Planet of the Apes at this point. We
it
just need to
is a
stop.
little bit. I won't argue with that. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was all right, I guess. James Franco was kind of miscast in that. And they kind of killed his character off screen, which I wasn't a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was pretty damn good. It was because it was more focused on the apes fighting each other, and the humans were kind of just background. And then this one, I mean, have they even released a trailer for this one yet?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I
out.
know I've seen it. I just don't remember watching
Yeah,
it.
there's a long
But
play trailer that came out with
Woody
Logan.
Harrelson's in it. That's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think it could be good as long as they don't make another one after this. Make it a trilogy and leave it at that.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump into November. This
November,
is
Jesus.
November. We got Thor 3. No
Yes.
trailers, no nothing. We just kind of getting snippets of the word that is coming in November.
Because I know the source material that it's based on, I'm optimistic. But it's also a Thor movie, and the Thor movies have kind of been weak. But it's going to be propped up by the fact that we're going to have
Thor and Hawk.
Bruce Banner.
Hopefully playing a prominent role.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a good double team. Thor 2 is highly regarded as the worst Marvel movie in that universe, right?
I like the last 5 minutes of it when that big thing.
But
was
as a
jumping
whole,
around.
Yeah, I think it would be the
it's
weakest
the
link
weakest.
in the whole chain.
Thor was pretty underrated. I mean, it introduced us to Chris Hemsworth, and
that awesome scene where he throws the hammer at the fucking guy, and then they jump through dimensions, and the hammer just shoots off into the fucking space to go find them.
yeah, that was pretty cool. But
And then
overall,
it comes back. I don't know. The movie, it wasn't an amazing film.
It wasn't bad,
It's
but it
not
wasn't great.
I
memorable.
already know the answer, and what this thing is about to do is about to be so epic. November 17th. You're about to lose your shit, so I'm getting braced in my chair for this one. Justice League.
Meh.
Oh my God, that face.
It's
just
gonna
said
be
it all.
Just
So
meh.
like I said, I don't know much about comics.
Right.
Obviously, this is going to introduce a new Green Lantern, right? Maybe.
There's some talk, but I don't know. Here's what I'm
No?
trying to wonder.
Okay.
What's going on here?
I didn't hate the other Green Lantern movie. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate it.
If they're gonna
Besides the fact that the villain had 2 testicles sticking out of his face, that was fucking weird. But
if they're gonna bring in a Green Lantern, they need to bring in fucking somebody other than Hal Jordan. They need to bring in Jon Stewart, in my opinion.
it's gonna be overstuffed. I can guarantee that now.
Okay, December 15th. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Who saw any trailers yet?
There is no trailers.
There's one that somebody's just made.
No,
It's been
that's-
that leak,
that's
that
a-
fan made thing.
It's a fan made.
But you know how
horseshit
you
on
see how
Facebook.
the scene with her blindfolded and fighting with the lightsaber, and I thought that's such a cool
Well, let's just put
scene.
it this way: it's Star Wars. We're all gonna see it regardless.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars. Everybody's gonna see it.
How did you guys feel about the Force Awakens?
Force Awakens was awesome when I first saw it. It was
loved
fucking
it.
incredible.
The Force Awakens was good,
The hype was real, and it stayed.
but looking back on it, it's I don't know. There's a lot of
It's
things.
It's basically a
There's
rehash
way
of the
too much
original, though.
to talk about right now about that film
So maybe another
in the time
episode
that we
later.
have allotted. But yeah, no, Force Awakens is good the first time you see it, and then if you watch it again or you watch successive watchings of it, it starts to kind of fall apart. It's like
That's what happened to me when I tried to watch it a second time.
It's like
It was
if
the
you-
theater experience that really got it. It made it better. Just watching it with everybody, like a full theater.
it's
of
like
people
a
cheering.
badly wallpapered wall where like you see it, you look at it and you're like, oh, this is nice wallpaper, and then you get up close to it and you're like, it's kind of coming off here on the side, and this is peeling down a little bit, and there's something stuck there.
I remember you saying on our summer special that you liked Rogue One more than you liked Force Awakens.
I liked Rogue One more than I liked Force Awakens because there were stakes in Rogue One.
So I actually just saw Rogue One last night for the first time. For personal medical reasons, I couldn't see it when it first came out. But somehow a theater was still playing it. I knew nothing about the story with that. I really wasn't excited for it when it came out either. The trailers didn't wow me like The Force Awakens did, but I gotta admit it was really good. The characters were amazing. The acting was pretty good. The new robot was kind of kick ass. That guy was funny. And he just kicked ass. And even though I guess it's not really a spoiler, you knew everybody was gonna die, it still had an impact.
But that's the thing is there was no reason to kill all those characters other than just the fact that they didn't want to have a loose thread of, where are these people now, kind of thing. And
then, I'm not going to get into it too much just for time, but CGI Grand Moff Tarkin was fucking awful. It was way too noticeable. It
was the best fucking CGI I think I've ever seen, but that didn't keep it from hitting the uncanny valley so fucking hard that you were just like, why?
Yeah, the Darth Vader scene at the end, that was really badass. That was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the Darth Vader, that Darth Vader scene was nice, but wholly unnecessary.
How about this? I want you to come back later in the year. I want to kind of bring you back in for our geek movie special. I think that due to time, we just don't. I want to get into some of these a little bit deeper.
I'm gonna go through just a couple of the other ones that we haven't talked about briefly. But yeah, go ahead.
Before we get into that, because we on time.
Yeah.
Tell us how can people follow Marsh Movies?
So I have you can just go to marshmovies.com. You can follow me there. Google search it. I mean, I have a Facebook page for it, even though I mostly post.
So at Marsh Movies?
It's just, Marsh Movies on Facebook. I usually tend to post it more to my personal page, which I need to work on just because I'm new with all this stuff.
Right.
I post it. I think it has its own Tumblr as well. Definitely Twitter. Check that one out. It has a link to my personal account as well. Okay. I just created a YouTube channel, but I'm going to use my personal one for that because YouTube is kind of fucked now with the way they've integrated Google too much. I just found out today you can't even actually record videos from YouTube anymore. Like you have to use Windows Movie Maker or something. And that kind of pissed me off.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, so go ahead and follow it. I got 115 posts, more coming out. Take a look. Let me know what you think.
Cool. That'll work. Now, hit us. What's one movie that maybe we didn't touch on that you're super excited to see?
There's just a couple brief ones real quick. So the one it's going to be speculative, is Captain Underpants. I love that series as a kid. It's probably the funniest books I've read. It's probably going to be crap. I won't deny that. But the voice cast that they've got so far is good. But I think at this point, it's just the humor is going to be... I mean, it is toilet humor, but it's just going to be worse. And... it is animated, and it's going to be made for kids.
Who's the voice actors?
So I think Kevin Hart is voicing the little black kid. I think his name was Lewis.
Yeah.
I think Ed Helms is voicing Captain Underpants. Oh. He's either that or the principal. I can't remember. One of those two.
So they're putting some big names into this.
There's huge names in there.
I saw the movie poster for it, but that was more my kids' thing, so I'm kind of like, I'm probably not watching this. What's another one?
So the other one that might be underrated, Baywatch. It's got The Rock. Everybody loves The Rock these days. He always makes a movie better, even if it is total shit.
And Zac Efron.
Zac Efron has proved that he has comedy chops and that he can kick ass.
So going back to Captain Underpants, Jordan Peele as Melvin, Nick Kroll as Professor somebody,
Professor Poopy Pants,
Kevin Hart, Christian Shaw, Ed Helms.
Ed Helms is Captain Underpants, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's Mr. Krupp, actually.
So who's voicing Captain Underpants then?
I don't know. Let me look at the full cast. It doesn't. Ed Helms is Captain Underpants.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because the principal turns into Captain Underpants. Okay. Okay. So the other ones, real quick. Despicable Me 3. I've seen the first two in theaters. I'm probably going to end up seeing it with my family like I did the first two times. I'm not going to have expectations for it, but they were entertaining enough. I haven't seen Minions. Don't want to.
I have grandkids. I've watched them all with my grandkids multiple times. So I'm going to see Despicable Me 3, and I've enjoyed them. But they're movies where I go, and if my grandchildren are laughing next to me, I get more joy out of seeing them enjoy that movie than I'm going to get out of me enjoying that movie. Now, there will be jokes in there that I'm going to love, but I know where we are on that one. Okay.
Okay, so there's just 4 left here real quick. So the It remake.
I don't want to see it.
I'm probably going to end up seeing it. I want to see a trailer. The TV special, or I guess, it was all right.
Made for TV movie.
Yeah, the 3-hour made for TV movie that was way longer than it needed to be. Obviously, the new guy will not have anything on Tim Curry because Tim Curry's amazing. But I'm speculative over it, and I can't think of any other horror movies that are really coming out this year besides my next one, which is Saw Legacy. There's no reason for that movie to come out. The series has gone nuts, but I've enjoyed most of them. I've watched them all. They're not bad. They get more gruesome as they go along. Let's see where the story takes it. Hopefully, it won't lead them into another trilogy because there doesn't need to be 10 of these.
I don't want to see it.
Look what happened with Friday the 13th.
If I want to watch a horror movie, I'm going to go watch It Comes at Night with Joel Edgerton when it comes out from A24 Studios, who gave us The Witch, and that'll be sometime this summer or this April. I forget.
That's the other one.
The last 2, Jumanji remake, could be good. It's got The Rock, again. Rock makes things better. Jack Black is going to be in it. He was really good in Goosebumps, and it's probably going to be the same type of humor, so I think that fits for him. Kevin Hart, I'm not really a fan of him, but hopefully he'll be a supporting character. Obviously, it's not Robin Williams, so it won't be as good, but we'll see. And then the last one, me personally, is Pitch Perfect 3. Because Pitch Perfect 1 came out of nowhere. I did not expect to like that at all, but it was really funny. The music was good, and it had a great cast. So second one, not as good, but we'll see what happens with number 3.
That's your picks.
That's my list.
I probably will see Pitch Perfect.
I'll see it.
It depends, man. It's one of those things. I got to skip 2 and only had to watch part 1, and I did enjoy part 1.
2 was good, but it just, I don't know. It had too much Fat Amy, and I'm not a big fan of Rebel Wilson. She kind of annoys me because it's the same character every movie. But the second one did have the Green Bay Packers singing Bootylicious. That was pretty funny.
All right, cool. Well, all right, man. We're out of here. Anything going on big with you this week, bro?
Not really.
You and I need to get together soon. I know we're going to do a special where we're going to pick Logan apart and we're going to go into big spoilers. We didn't want to do it here tonight. Really wanted to bring Chris on and pick his brain. But we will be doing a Logan spoiler-ish episode soon.
Yes.
Okay. We'll be getting into that.
And while you're waiting for that, I did post a spoiler-filled blog post about that. So check it out. Yeah. It was a great movie.
I think we're going to really get into some things about that one.
It's easy to pick apart. There's definitely a lot of things to pick apart about it. But
here's the first time we're going to pick a movie apart, and I can honestly tell you before the special comes out, we're probably going to struggle to find something bad because as a comic book fan, we're going to come at it from a different angle.
See, that's the thing is, I don't want to pick it apart to find things that are wrong with it. I want to pick it apart to show things that
are amazing about this.
That are amazing about it and that connect in with things that you don't realize that that's something that's happening while you're watching the movie.
Exactly. You and I had this conversation, and I'm really excited to do that episode. So, Chris, man, I really thank you for this. I really like you and I know I give you hell, but I truly enjoy when we sit down and talk movies because a lot of times I think you hear stuff from me that you never even knew. And it's kind of like I get to share my experience with you as a cinemaholic, and also I get to get your view on things from your youth. Man, we definitely will have you back. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, I mean, if I had all this equipment here, I'd do my own solo podcast. But I have I don't have any money right now. And so if anybody wants to buy me a microphone and stuff, I'm down.
I mean, you don't have to buy broadcast quality stuff to start.
I can't afford it. I would have to do it on my computer.
Yeah, you can do it on your computer. You just get a shitty microphone and then
I don't have money for a microphone, period. Maybe, a $50 microphone would do it?
No, not even that. Just a headset and microphone, like a gaming headset. You can do it with that.
Okay.
Just start out there, and then when you get the money later, just get a better microphone.
When you're ready to talk to us off the record, off the show, we can tell you how to do that there. Okay.
Right, fair enough.
Trust me, we can tell you some things, man, because this guy and I have conversations all the time about we can help you set up a podcast. And I think what you're doing and talking about is good stuff. All right, guys, it's been real, man. We've enjoyed you. And as always, what we say, thank you for the emails. On our next episode, I'm going to get into some of the emails. Just a quick shout out to some of the guys that hit us up. Definitely want to say what's up to Todd Nicholson out of Dumas, Texas. He sent an email in. Also, Daniel Glenn, he's representing from Amarillo. Daniel, we read your email. We're going to definitely be addressing the things that you and Todd have sent us, and we'll be talking to all you guys, sending you some information out on that. Everybody, thank you for supporting us. The Team Lift family is growing, man, and we can honestly say we're over the 10,000 mark, well over the 10,000 feed hit mark with the show. And it's because of guys like you that are listening every week and keeping it hyped and sending it out to your friends. And we want to thank you for that. As always, this has been Roderick. This has been Brandon. This was our guest, Chris.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Huh?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, all right, brother. Hey, y'all have a good one. Peace.
See you.
Thanks for listening to the Team Lift Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page @GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages @Coach Silky and @ThighSide. You can direct questions and comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.